TEchCon floor. TEchCon is our internal event at TEchCon activity that celebrates and supports really engineering and innovation. We're excited for our last session to have Roberto Liu with us. Welcome, Roberto. Roberto is a VP of Technology and Advanced Manufacturing. So first, before we dig into robotics and the things that you really love, just let the people back home know. What is so exciting about TEchCon, and what are you excited about this week?
TE has so many BUs among different industry segments. In this tech conference, we get to see a variety of technologies live in front of us and meeting people from the world, because TE has 1/3 business in Europe, 1/3 Americas, 1/3 Asia. So now we see all the technology and the people presented all in front of us. And in this particular time, they're in the same room like we're sitting. So this is very exciting. We see the subsea communication appliances, industrial BU, telecommunication, automotive, consumer, and so on and so forth.
So I saw you've got a great little display over there. Can you just tell them real quickly what you're working on or what you're displaying?
Well, actually, my team has 4 displays here.
Sorry, 4 displays. Wow.
Yeah, and there's a high-speed stamping. There's a molding technology on micro molding, because things getting smaller and smaller. And then we have robotic work in 2 places, automatic pick and place, and also very precision robotic work. We'll talk about more in the following questions and answers.
Great. Yeah, let's just dig right into those. So first, before we get into those, let's start with, how did you realize that you were interested in these things?
When I was a kid, occasionally I broke things. So I took things apart, and then hopefully I can put them back together. Occasionally I cannot. Actually, very often I cannot. Then I realized I need to learn more about these gadgets, these things, so I can put them back together. And then later on, I started to come up with my own ideas of how things can put together. Then I get into the material part, the mechanical part of the world. Yeah.
So how did that then evolve into what you're doing today?
And I've been a fan of automation for a very long time, and then I'm very lucky to have this honor to be associated with very talented team members, actually world-class engineers on my team. I'm very proud of them, and they have opportunity to service several business units on their automation needs, and then that inspired us to keep looking at what's new, what's possible, and also what is impossible, so we can have our challenge to make them possible in precision automation and flexible automation.
So you talked a lot about your team, and they're global. So tell us a little bit about how you all come together to work.
It's very different structure, because we value innovation from the corporate technology standpoint, because we do not run day-to-day production. So we really want our team members to not only realize what's the boundary of current technology, which means what's possible, but also think what are the steps that we need to do so we can go to the next phase of automation. So those are the bridge across from one area of automation to the next area, where we spend a lot of time and thinking of those.
So talking about that advancement and so forth, what are the top ways robots are helping in advanced manufacturing right now?
In the traditional type of operation, like in some of our processes, we have a lot of people. And then some of them maybe not so safe. Maybe there's a hazardous gas that have to be vented. People have to wear protection gear all the time, or very hot substance near people. And then they get burned if they're not careful enough. So we have to wear a lot of protection gears. And those are the area of automation for the safety of our hardworking people. And also another area, whether we like it or not, this is business is for making a profit for our shareholders and for ourselves as well. So somewhere we see opportunity, we would implement automation, just like all our similar companies in the industry. And furthermore, so the previous 2 examples, we use automation to replace people for what people can already do. And there's a 3rd category, we use automation into the process to produce items people cannot do. It's not about headcounts or the bottom line or safety. It's like I mentioned earlier, a few minutes ago, precision automation. So it's so precise that human being is not geared to do those type of work.
And I would imagine that being able to do what was once impossible with robots has to be extremely exciting. Is that one of the most exciting aspects to you, or is it something else?
Oh yes, of course. And for instance, some of our wires and our devices, they're getting smaller and smaller. They're getting, like our computer, for instance, today's cell phone has computing power better than yesterday's desktop. So our device is getting smaller. Our industry is getting faster. So every year, the new device rolling out. So the flexibility and the precision of automation facing its challenges, new challenges actually constantly. So that's exciting to us to be able to come up with a unique solution to figure out ways of doing things faster and more precise and hopefully cheaper as well.
So, given their advantageous qualities in the existing field, how do you evolve into different categories? So, how do you take this into other industries?
Can you say that again?
I said, so what we've already got going in this existing field, how do you evolve this into different category applications? So, into new applications?
Oh, thank you. Actually, there are a lot, even though in our very exciting TEchCon activity, we have many business units in different industries. A lot of applications, they are similar. And those hardworking people in the plant, they may not talk to each other on a daily basis across the globe. They do have a similar operations. For instance, in our energy business unit, we have a baggage of heating elements that people take on the field to do a job. Now, in our AD&M, aerospace, defense, and the marine business, people take a bag of TE parts, go to an airplane or on the field to do a job. Someone will have to put those things together. Now, yesterday, we used people to do it. We still do some today. Now, tomorrow, we hope we use robots to pick and place them intelligently with unlimited possible of combinations. Now, this might seem to be simple, but in the past they have different varieties, different texture, different size, just like in other industries, or other industries part of the TE. And with a similar process, we use the same core algorithm developed inside TE to apply them into different categories of automation.
That's great. So what are some of the trends in the robotics field that you're following? Like, what gets you excited out there?
Oh, there are a few things. Like many people may have heard, Google bought a defense-based robotic company, and many of us went to Google and saw their news and saw their video clips on how things work. So inside those robots, there are a few fundamental things. One is the feedback loop. So this running dog or animal, it knows the environment, can see, can feel, can sense. In yesterday's computing power, it was not impossible to do that, not fast. In today's computing power, those became possible. So the speed of feedback control becomes one of the key enable elements. Now, if you use a human being as an example, if we sense something very hot, our hand would come back before our brain realizes the temperature. So for robots, it's going to the same trend. So the feedback loop would be at the end effect at the joint, not in the cabinet, few meters or few feet outside the cell in a computer. Because it's too long of a signal going back and forth and process. So it's just, in this more precise, more agile, more adaptive. Those are the new trends that we're following in the robotic industry, and also the ability to see. Try to use today's camera technology to see what a human being can see. That's not easy. Actually, it's not quite there yet. It's getting there. So we're following all of the above.
So it sounds like some of what you're talking about is going to have a lot of dependency on sensors as well.
Yes.
So can you elaborate a little bit on that at all?
A sensor is a business unit in TE. TE produces sensor, and actually most, if not all, industrialized robotic manufacturers, they are TE customers. they have TE sensors in the robot that we use to produce parts that we sell.
Great. So this is a little bit away from robotics, but could you tell us what does connection mean to TE?
Oh, connection connects people together. For instance, this Google event we are having now runs through a handful of TE connectivity products, like our computer signal, the data center uses TE cable. When we go across the globe, under the sea, fiber cable, many of them produced and then manufactured and also placed under the sea by TE. So connectivity in TE, we connect human together, the human emotion, the human feeling, the human data, not only the engineering work, also the pictures from grandparents to grandchildren. When we send a picture through Google+, we will go through at least 6 TE products. And when we make a cell phone call, similar way.
Great.
Yes.
So we'll just finish it up with one question that actually came in from the internet. Again, a little bit further away from robotics, but what do you see as the big trends in the Internet of Things right now?
I think the trend is in favor of TE in one word, connectivity. When we have more Internet of Things, we will have more connectivity. People want to know what's going on among their friends, families, and people at work, and the industry trend. So the connectivity will increase. Also, another example, when we go to a football stadium, we not only want to see the live action of what's going on, we also use our smartphone device or another device to connect with others. Well, thanks to our company, we enable 20-some football fields across US. So the Internet of Things not only is a technology trend, it's also a connectivity trend to connect people together.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to join us.
Thank you.
My
pleasure.
Yeah, it was great speaking to you. So thank you.
Thank you.